Stuff, guys. And for those who joined us, thank you so much. I know that you guys are staying dry either at home. Just want to go through briefly what we talked about the previous 3 weeks. And I apologize, I wasn't on last week. I had an emergency up north, but I'm glad to be back. So, guys, what we talked about briefly was how to work a farm area, how to choose it. We went over that already during this crash course. How to market yourself in a competitive market. We talked about that. Your social media, how to leverage it in your sphere of influence, right? This week, we're going to talk about the listing agreement, going to a listing appointment, and nailing that, right? And so let's talk about right now, guys, we are in a skills market, right? We want to work with people that are high level who know how to close deals, right? And it doesn't matter if they know your history of being a top producer or not. In this era, with the lead sources and with the technology, anyone could be a top producer overnight. And I really mean that. Last year, I was coaching a gal that focused only on community events, using a lot of AI, using a lot of digital marketing. She was able to grow her business from 4 transactions to essentially 16, right? So if you're talking about the number just leveling up overnight, you can do it. It just takes the hard work, right? People are talking about, well, how much hours of man hours should I devote to my marketing? Is if you really want to take your business seriously, you got to devote about 4 to 5 hours a day in just conversations, cold calling, door knocking, any combination of anything. And don't take digital marketing for granted either, right? Digital marketing is the same as door knocking 100 doors, right? If you do it effectively, right? So when we're in a skills market, people need to know that you know what you're talking about. People need to know they're confident in what you're talking about, right? So the preparation of each appointment is different depending how you get the lead source, right? And we often take for granted because we got a lead off a referral that it's a slam dunk. So what I mean by that is if I send Ruben a referral, right? Let's say I'm up north in Sacramento, I'm a Sacramento agent. I call Ruben up, I say, hey Ruben, I got my friend, right, down in LA that wants to buy or wants to sell his home. And we get that lead from Ruben, we're thinking, that's a layup. It's easy. We don't need to close it, right? We can't think like that. We have to go in prepared as if Ruben's friend didn't know us, and it's like a very warm lead. I think most agents, when they work with referrals, what they do is they drop the ball. They think they already have the business already, and they're talking assumptive closings and conversations that shouldn't be had already. You need to understand like what your client needs, right? What your client's pain points are. And the best way to do that is just to ask questions, right? Just to ask a lot of questions. Even at a listing appointment that we think that we already got already, just ask a lot of questions. Hey, where are you moving to? When's the time frame that you're looking to move, right? When are you looking to expect to be there, right? Because all these questions lead to them just talking, because we don't want to be that agent that goes in there and talks about ourselves, I, and me. We want to talk to we. Because when you shift your conversation from me to we, the whole dynamics change, right? Oh, look, this is how we're going to get top dollar for this house. This is what we're going to do in order to sell your home, right? Because when you come from a standpoint of me or I, people tune you out already. They're just not listening to you. And it can be a referral that was already given to you that they can even walk away because they may get turned off about your delivery. So never assume, even if you have a hot referral from a friend or from another agent, that it's in the bag already. Treat it as if you still have to work for that appointment, that lead, right? So just think, hey, a referral from a friend, that's essentially a soft close, right? You still got to work for it until they sign that listing appointment, or until they sign that DocuSign. Don't assume that it's your client already, right? Purchase online lead, blind lead, they have zero loyalty to you. So if you're going to a listing appointment, you better bring your heavy artillery out because they probably don't know us yet, and we have to fight for our seat at the table. And when you go into those type of appointments, you really have to lead with value, right? Your value proposition. It's not about you per se, but it's about the results that you've done so far in the past. And if you're a newer agent and you don't have any closings yet, you can also piggyback on all of our closings in our office, right? So we have a lot of superstars in our office that we can piggyback of, right? Just ask them, hey, is it okay, David, can I use your listing? Can I use your listing to market myself? And all it takes is a teamwork, right? So if you're going to that listing appointment, you have zero sales or zero listings closed on your part, it's okay. Just ask some of the local producers in our office, can I leverage your listings to say this is what we closed in this time frame, right? Does that make sense? So a lot of people just are just scared because of the confidence level that we as agents don't already have, right? And it's okay. All you have to do is reach into your bag of in the office and just piggyback of every other person's production in here. So that's the way you kind of counteract that, right? First thing you want to go into a listing appointment, you want to act engaged. You want to act like you want to be there. You want to act like you're just hyper focused on getting them the top dollar and just being attentive to what they're talking about, right? So take notes. Thank you for having me. Compliment them on their upgrades. If they just put a new kitchen in there, just say, you know what, great look on the kitchen. I see many households do this, like get top dollar in their home. So congratulations on that. Notice their pride of ownership, right? So let's say, for example, if you just bought a new car or older car and you refurnish that car and you put new wheels on there, you put new tints, and someone compliments you on your car, you feel great about it. Same as a homeowner. You want to go in there with the intention of complimenting their choices of decor, taking great notes, and just like listening. Again, the art of listening is so underrated. Just listen to what they're saying. And if they're telling a story behind a story about the home, listen to it. It's that 5 extra seconds or that 5 extra minutes or that hour that you're spending there that's going to determine. I like Ruben. I'm going to pick Ruben to be my agent, right? So just be engaged with them when you're there, right? And it's game time. So after you sit down, you tour the home with them and you're having that conversation, you kind of want to like engage with them. And this is the game time where you're going to perform, right? We've been practicing, we're doing the role playings. Now it's the real conversations that you have with that homeowner, and whether that decision where they're going to hire you on the spot or have that painful conversation as, we're going to interview a few more agents. And it's okay. If they say that, it's quite okay. And you kind of want to counteract every single rebuttal with something of value, right? And again, it's not about talking about ourselves or talking about our office, but it's talking about the value that you have to bring to the table with them, right? And when it comes to objection handling, that's key. They might say, you know what, I have a cousin that does that, for 3%, and he's going to just charge me 3%. Or I have an aunt that does real estate part-time. He's only going to charge me 1.5%. I heard it all, guys, right? And that's okay. I understand that you have to give your boss's realtor a shot, but does your boss's friend work this area like I do? I have a team of 180 agents in my office that can help blast your listing and get more eyeballs on it. And if it's a global luxury listing, guess what? We have a portal, an exclusive portal that 20,000 extra people have their eyeballs on it. We'd love to get you. Let's sign this listing agreement. Let's get you on board and sell this home for you, right? So a lot of times, the consumer just doesn't know any better. They're guided by a friend. They're guided by their employer. They're guided by a church referral to go with this particular person. But if you're in the living room and it's game time and you understand their concerns and you handle the objections correctly, you're going to be the last two people they might pick to be the realtor, right? So how do you become the last two people that they finally select? You want to be prepared. So like I said, they're going to be talking about, hey, you know what? We're interviewing other agents. What's your commission? So when they ask you heavy questions about numbers already, you got to hit them with your value. What's your value? Show them your marketing. Show them what you can do, right? Show them the whole package, if they're interviewing other agents. Tell them, hey, you know what? I sold this home in less than 10 days. You know what? My office is spectacular. I have a top 2% commercial agent. If they're selling commercial, for example, that's going to help me navigate this listing. We're going to get you extra marketing on here. It's going to be on CoStar. It's going to be in the MLS. It's going to be market off market as well. So whatever leverage of marketing you can use to them is to your side, because guess what, guys? You don't want to be that agent where all you do is put in the MLS and just hopes it sells because of the market. And you can't let the market dictate your sales of your home. You got to have some way driven, whether it be digital marketing, off-market branding, your office pushing your listing, or whatever the case may be. You got to show why you're different from the next agent, right? Because the next agent, quite frankly, guys, not to disrespect any agent or any offices, they're probably just going to do, quite light digital marketing to that little sphere. They're probably going to do some geographical digital marketing, and that's probably it. So what makes them different from you, right? And you got to sell it right at the bat when you're there in their living room, right? And you can want to ask them, well, how many agents are you interviewing, right? If they're asking you, well, they're telling you I'm interviewing some agents. Well, for for your mindset, you want to know how many agents they're interviewing, right? Because you want to kind of bring it back to the table. If you're going to miss out on this listing, what did you do wrong? What did you do right? And you want to know who your competition is, right? So if you don't mind me asking, hey, Mr. Smith, that is so awesome that you're taking the time to actually interview other people. But can I ask you, how many other agents you're interviewing? Who are they, right? And what's the most important thing that you're looking for an agent? I know that you're conscious about the fees, but what else is it about it that I can help you out with aside from my commission that I'm charging you, right? What other concerns do you have, right? You can always pivot that conversation towards the direction you want to talk about. So if fees are their main thing, then you need to do some objections about the fees. Maybe you can talk about, well, with my 5%, I only bring staging, I bring digital marketing, I bring my whole, if it's a luxury listing, you can talk about the portal for global luxury. So many weaponry you can bring to the table, right? That I guess, let's just say, for example, I'm not saying any companies, but a Remax agent who has very limited resources, doesn't have Moxie Works, doesn't have CB Desk, doesn't have the global luxury portal. It's easily for you to talk about the value propositions you have in the office, right? So that's why you have to ask the question as well. If they're interviewing other agents, well, can I, I'd love to learn, can you share who else you're interviewing with? And it's okay. The worst they can say is no, right? But then in the back of your head, if you know who it is or who your competition is, you can ask very direct questions and kind of pivot those questions back to you in your favor, right? Also, when they talk about, hey, you're at the table right now, you want to say, hey, you know what? I want to show you what my team does. I have a whole team. I have about 17 people working on this transaction once you sign that dotted line. I have my transaction coordinator. I have my team leader. I have my stager. I have this, I have that. So you want to essentially do is put all your team members on an 8x10 card and show it to them. This is my transaction coordinator. This is Mary. This is my photographer, my marketing coordinator, Jerry. Let them have a tangible item they can hold, an 8x10 laminate card about your whole team. So when you're walking through the listing presentation on digital format, on computer, they also want to hold something that they can follow you with, right? So if you're talking about Jerry, hey, this is Jerry. He takes the most beautiful landscape pictures. We're going to get a lot of attention on it. Show Jerry's headshot and some of the samples in that laminate card. A lot of the agents aren't showing the value, right? And if you're dealing with baby boomers, anyone that wants to see things and take things in their hand, this very helps. This helps a lot. The 8x10 laminate cards. Not too many people are doing it, guys. They're doing, hey, you know what? They're bringing a CMA into the living room. They're talking about how much they think their home is worth, but they're not being proactively and let people visualize what they can sell their home for. You have to visualize it. They have to see it. And then put those comps on the laminates as well. Take a few minutes, go to Kinko's or User Office. Put those comps loud and direct on the laminates, right? Sold for $890, sold for $1 million plus, sold for one, whatever the case may be. Show them the numbers right in their face so they can hold it and see it, right? So after you show them how you can do and help, you're going to show them like the 8x10, and you're going to show them the GoGo PPC that you're going to use to blast their listing out. You're going to show them that, hey, you know what, this is a value. This is an investment, not an expense, right? If you're arguing about, or they're trying to like pivot you about the 6% or the 5%, show them what their money is going to. The commission is, hey, you know what, I do Google PPC. When people search for a particular home in the area, they're going to see your home, right? Also, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a team of ISA circle dialing, finding a direct buyer for you. That's what makes me different. We're proactive. So once you sign that listing agreement, guess what, guys? I have 15 people right now calling back home right now, trying to find you that buyer. We're going to be proactive about this. We're not just going to put it on the MLS and hope it sells. We're going to have a team dialing. We're going to have a team dialing to let people know that we're having an open house. We have a team dialing about, people who are looking for homes just like yours. We're very proactive out there, and show them the pictures of these people calling. If you have a team of ISA, show them. This is the person that's going to be dialing, circuit dialing for you. So when you hire me, you hire 17 different people in this transaction, right? So it makes them feel important, like very major, like a major level of marketing for them, right? So let's be honest. When we think about listing a home, we're just thinking about, I'm hiring an agent. They're going to put in the MLS and they're going to blast it. right? That's what it is, right? You're gonna hold a couple open houses and hope that we get that offer that I'm hoping for, right? But when you're paying and you're visualizing the picture of this whole team for this one transaction with this one condo in Monrovia, they're like, wow, Ruben is going above and beyond. For 5%, Ruben, no brainer. I'm signing right now. All right, does that make sense, guys? All right, give me 1 second. So you want to ask them, what do you think of the marketing? We want to make sure you get front and center of your home. We want to make sure that you get major exposure for your listing, right? We want to make sure that the public knows your home is hitting the market. These are trigger words, right? That you're going to tell them at the listing appointment. You want to trigger them. These are key buzzwords that you want to use. We're going to make sure that the whole public knows. We're going to make sure the whole block knows, right? We're going to have a whole team of ISAs and let the whole area know that we're selling your home. And ask them, hey, do you want to make your sell more private or more public? Because some people don't want a lot of fanfare about their home, and you have to ask them. Those are certain questions. If they're people that are very private, they probably don't want a large, open house, or they don't even want to sign in from their house as well. So just be kind of like, ask the questions. That's why asking a lot of questions at the listing appointment is very key, right? Even those questions, hey, did you how big of a buzz? And this question may even help you, right? How big of a buzz do you want on your home sale? Because we can make it large as we want, or we can make it very private. So ask them, because some people don't want too much fanfare for their open house, right? So when they're talking about listing their home for a certain price, I know that's an issue right now, because a lot of people are sitting on great rates right now, and a lot of people don't have to sell, and they want unrealistic numbers. So for example, home in Arcadia that is worth 1.2, there in the homeowner's mind is they think it's worth 1.7, 1.8. You got to be the expert and be realistic about the pricing. If they can't get 1.8, when in your minds and minds it's worth 1.2. So what you want to have that assumptive close is you want to talk about, hey, you know what? Let's start at 1.25 and bid it up. Let's let the market dictate your home right now, because the market's a little bit chaotic right now. There's little inventory, and you can't expect your home to sell for 1.8, because if you're on a move up and you're looking to move up to $2 million home, and your home is about, you have to like sell square footage to square footage, right? Some clients don't know, right? They just see something on Zillow go crazy. They think that their home is worth that amount. So you have to educate your client as well and let them be realistic. Hey, you know what? We can't assume that this home is worth this much, right? We can't assume this home is worth $2 million. Would you pay $2 million for your house logistically right now? And let them say, no, I wouldn't. And your step-up home, would you pay 2.5 for your step-up home? You just got to break down the facts of these people, right? Some people are just living in this imaginary world when it comes to their home, because they have so much pride of ownership where they're going to throw an unrealistic number at you. If that's the case, you don't want to take that listing, because you'll have a listing that's going to sit in the market for months on end, and it's going to ruin your reputation, right? So to kind of like sum it up, guys, be assumptive with your closing. Are you ready to sign? You're asking questions, like you're doing assumed closing, right? So when you're sitting down, you're going to sign that listing agreement, and this is Ruben here. Hey, you know what? On these drapes, are we gonna include them when we sell the home? Or this furniture in here, guys, are we gonna include that in the sell of the home? Like, do a lot of assumptive like remarks when you're about to close the deal, right? Oh, great, guys. So when you're closing the deal, are you looking to move out in 30 days or 90 days? I need to know these questions so we can put in the MLS notes or whatever the case may be. Assume to close at all times, right? And if you're leaving the appointment kind of feeling uneasy, it's okay to follow up right away. It's okay to follow. Hey, do you mind if I call you next few days to follow up? Because sometimes it's not a one-man decision, a one-person decision. It's a family. It's their cousins involved. So many people in the equation to sell their home, right? And we think it's an easy close, but selling a home is so much emotion to it, especially if someone's been there in that home for many years versus an investor who's just looking to flip the home, make some profit, right? There's a lot of emotion to it, right? So guys, that's this week's kind of boot camp on the listing appointment and listing presentation. Next week, we'll talk more about, I guess, digital age and using AI And I'll have a whole new 4-week course next week. I'll email to Peter, but that is it for this week, guys. And I'll toss it back to Ruben.
Thanks, Anthony. Anybody have any questions for Anthony? No?
Anthony, I was wondering, if we, most of the stuff works very well when you're working as a team. You can kind of let the owner knows that you have plenty of help. But in case you're working solo, not with any teams, how do you modify your presentation?
If you're doing it
by yourself, just
yourself?
You're not having anybody to help you. How do you convince them that you have the confidence to handle the transaction?
Well, if you're a solo agent, like we talked about before, and you're newer to the industry, you can piggyback off of our superstars in our office, right? So you just have to ask some of our agents who've been closing high deals, hey, is it okay if I piggyback off your closed listings, right? Can I piggyback off a global luxury agent and you know what? And just co-list it with someone. Sometimes it's okay to co-list. We forget about the power of the co-list, right? Let's say we have a superstar agent and he's closing 40 deals a year and he's hyper local in San Marino, right? And you're trying to get that listing in San Marino. Hey, is it okay if we partner up and try to get this listing together? That's probably the most effective way, the Batman and Robin tandem, right? You're going off Batman and you're Robin. And it's okay because it's okay. Robin needs to build his name too, right? So those are some of the secrets that a lot of people are afraid to partner up with some superstars or agents. I don't recommend it doing outside of our office too much, but whoever's in our office that's willing to help you and be the co-lister on your listing, try that as well.
Yeah, it's not easy though.
Not easy.
I have to tell you, a lot of agents don't want to partner with their own company agents because of certain concerns. Their personality may not match and all that. So I was thinking that maybe if you're working as a solo, what is the best way to convince the owner to give you the listing?
If you're a solo agent, you just got to show like enormous value, so much value that it's hard for them to say no to you, right? And I think at Coldwell Banker, we have so much value with the marketing we have, right? MoxieWorks. If anyone really knows how to use MoxieWorks the correct way, it's a game changer, right? There's so many other avenues you guys can blast out a listing, right? There's Zip Your Flyer that can expose that listing to another 15 to 20,000 people. So when you tell people legitly, hey, I can get an additional 40,000 eyeballs on your listing, it's true. You really can get 40,000 extra people, right? You have digital marketing, you have Zip My Flyer, you have CB Tools, you have CB Global Luxury. You essentially can have another 100,000 set of eyeballs on that listing. So if you're walking in and you're going against a RE/MAX agent, you just got to show all your value proposition on this laminated paper. Just say, look, this is where it's going to be go-to. This is what people are going to see. And I think that's the disconnect is we're shy sometimes be in front of people and tell them how amazing we are, right? It's so easy for us to talk about how amazing a place we've been to or a park or a restaurant, but how hard is it sometimes to talk about us sometimes, right? We're amazing too. So we have to actually let the homeowner know that how amazing your office and what you bring to the table is, right? Do it with laminate cards, guys. I'm telling you, it's a game changer. People remember what they hold and see. And leave it with them. Say, hey, no, this is for you. You can have that. You can hold this because when you leave, they have all these 8x10s that's on their living room table that you left. And guess what? It's going to make an impression, right? So leave that marketing there and be different. Don't be like the average agent, just be there and be there to shine,
Okay, thank you.
All right, guys. I'll see you guys next week, guys. Have a blessed week.
Okay, Anthony. Have a good one. All right, let's move on. I hope you guys got value out of that. But I agree with Anthony as far as when you're when you're at the appointment, make it about them, not yourself so much. They'll ask the questions as far as your qualifications, but it's about them. You're there to do a service for them and stuff. So remember that. All right, moving on. We do have a new agent. We have no birthdays this week, so but we do have a new agent that I want to introduce, Fernando Torres. I don't think he's with us today. I just onboarded him on Friday, but welcome aboard, Fernando. A couple reminders for this coming week. On Wednesday, Wednesday at 10 a.m., we do have our final commercial class of this past series. It's class number 4 of 4 with Josh Best. On that same note, there is a new series of commercial classes coming up. It's 10 weeks I believe every Wednesday at 10 a.m. It starts on September 6th. Okay. Last I seen, there was only 36 seats left. I haven't checked today. I'm assuming it's right around in the 25 range. Once those seats are absorbed and someone registers, they're gone. You won't have access to that class. So please, if you want to register, I urge you to do it sooner rather than later. Also this Wednesday, we're going to have a lunch and learn at 1 p.m. And that's going to be hosted by Nancy Chan, and she's going to go over probate and trustee sales. Okay. So should be a good class. It'll be in person, and it'll also be available virtually. Okay. And then 10 o'clock on Friday, we were going to have a sky slope, but there was a conflict in schedule. So I believe we're going to do car forms that week. Okay. So this Friday will be car forms again. All right. And then I do want to remind everybody that the PFAR caravans, even though PFAR is in the dark right now, they went dark for the remainder of the month. They did resume their caravans. So the caravans are back in effect on Thursdays. And also on Wednesdays is the Arcadia Association of Realtors caravan. Okay. They did tell me that if you wanted to pitch your listing at either Arcadia or Pasadena, this is what they told me. I'm not sure if it's true or not, but other agents that were on the caravans, that you can call them and give them the information to your listing, and they'll pitch it for you. So you don't even have to be a member of the board, and you don't have to be present, and they'll pitch it for you. So that's a little bit more exposure for your listings. Okay. Then last but not least, I think that's it. Let's go to, before I hand it over to Doug, let me share my screen. All right. Can everybody see the wheel?
Yeah.
All right. This week we have some flashlights. Okay. 2 little personal flashlights. They're pretty cool. They're really bright. So it'll help you in the dark. Let's go ahead and spin. And Paul, your name is on there this week. Okay. You're right there. Sorry for missing that last week. All right. Who gets it today? David.
Oh,
I don't know which David that is. It just said David, so that's what I put on there. All right, let me go ahead and stop sharing. David, I have your prize here, so come pick it up. And without further ado, I will hand it over to Doug.
Good morning, everybody. How you doing today? Hope you all got through the rain okay. Was not the big storm that they kept saying, but I did go to Costco on Saturday, and there was a run on water and everything, man. There was so many people stocking up there. I don't know why. It's crazy. But anyway, so I'm going to tell you about some listings that we have. Judy Salazar has got a listing in Pacific Palisades, 4-bedroom, 3-bath for 4.25. That's a really, really good, good property. Beautiful property, she said. Okay, and also we have a residential lease on Garvey and Rosemead for $3,500. Another residential lease on First Avenue in Arcadia for $4,380. I'm sorry, decimals. And then in Monterey Park, we have a house for sale, 3-bedroom, 1-bath. She's got multiple offers on it. So if you got somebody interested, give Peggy Shaw a call. That's $678 is the asking price. And also there's 3 units on Sereno, Camellia Vera. Wow. Really, really good properties. 3 units. She's offering 2.5% commission, $1,850,000 for these three separate houses, and they're nice houses. Temple City Schools. Commercial retail sale on Valley Boulevard in Rosemead, Andy Sue. for $888,000. And here's a tropical fish store. Anybody want to have a tropical fish store? You can buy the business for $180,000, or you can lease out the building for $4,200. See Michael Chan in Arcadia for that one. And the last one is the Baldwin Park. There's a lot. Sean Pan and Andy Sue have it. It's $420,000. And a couple of sales we have here. Benny has one for $735 in Almani. George Shao, he had this listing that sold immediately, canceled, and then he resold it. 7-day escrow all cash. I'm hoping it's going to close today for $1,030,000, George Shao. And then also we have a double ender on 6 units in LA for $1,400,000. And that's it from Arcadia. A lot of things happening here. A lot of agents working on new listings. So I hope to have a bunch of them for you next week.
Hey, Doug, have you been going to the caravans yourself?
No, I haven't been able to because I have something I'm working on right now. So, but I do plan on going. But Arcadia Caravan starts at 8:30. You can pitch your own listing, hand out flyers, meet other agents. I've been to a lot of them. I just haven't been to one recently.
So they pitch the listings at the meeting before they go to the caravan.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. You can pitch your own listing there too. And if you have a listing on Caravan, or if you want them to pitch just a new listing or a price reduction or back on the market, there's also a place where you can pitch those too in front of the agents.
Great.
And
So you don't even have to go to the caravan. You don't even have to be present, and you'll still get your listing pitched. So get your listing exposed. And for those,
that's something new that they're doing. Yeah.
yeah. And then for those who don't have listing, get out there, see the inventory, meet the other realtors, see what they're doing. Last week, I got to tell you, every listing I think I went to like 3 or 4 of them, and they were busy. There was like at least 20 agents. And remember, even though it's a caravan and broker open, there's buyers there too. I probably saw like 20 agents and probably 3 or 4 buyers at the same time. It looked like a party and stuff. So it's good to get out there, at the very least, mingle, see what everybody's doing, and recognize the inventory that you have out there and stuff.
Exactly.
All right. Well, thank you, Doug. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Good seeing you. All right. So as far as Alhambra business, NSA has her listing back in escrow. So congratulations to you. That's a Monterey Park house at 1.322888. Ruben Galvan also has his listing back in escrow, and that's in La Puente at 666. That's not a very nice number, but 666,000. And Nicole Chan, she is representing the buyer on a property in Upland for 810. And then for listings, Christine Fenn, she has a residential property in Temple City for 910,000, and Sunshine Galvan has a condo in Covina for a very good price, 389,999, so just shy of 390. So that if anybody wants an affordable condo in Covina, please consult Sunshine Galvan. All right, without further ado, I'll hand it over to Peter so he can have his update.
Hi, Ruben. Thank you, Ruben. Oh, by the way, the 666 is not a bad number at all in Chinese tradition. It actually is a good number.
Oh, wow. In our tradition, it means the devil, so, but that's weird, That's,
All
I
right.
always want to change that to like 6. So 666 is actually a good number?
A good number for Chinese, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
I guess it
That
depends
means
where you come from.
prosperity and everything, so.
Yeah, I guess it comes from, I guess it depends on where you come from and
That's
what
right.
perspective you're putting in. In Catholic religion, it's not a very appealing number. I'm not gonna say a bad number, but it's not an appealing number,
Right. Okay, all right. Good morning, everybody. Hope you had a nice weekend. I hope you survived the hurricane. Happy, and it wasn't too bad after all. It was a lot of rain, but as far as wind is concerned, it's minimum. I have some leaves in my swimming pool, but that's about it. So it's a happy ending for everybody. So hopefully we have a nice week to follow and have good business as well. All right, with that, I would like to share my topic for today. Is about the economic snapshot. Now, I have, a lot of people ask me what the how's the economies look like and what is going to be happening in the few months to come. Well, I don't have a crystal ball, but the economy now is a little bit better than before, and actually it's so good that the Fed is not going to do much about this interest rate pause. As a matter of fact, they are going to increase the interest rate some more. To be, I mean, it's kind of ironic, but that's the way they handle the inflation. But anyway, as I said, I don't have the crystal ball for the future economy, but the economy now at this point is better, a little bit better than before. So let's look at what we have right now. Okay, the general trend is that the housing affordability remain to be a big issue there in the second quarter, and the problem will persist in the second half of the year as the rates continue to stay high. Now, as I will tell you later, the affordability of the housing is really, really big problem, and only 16% of the people can afford to buy a new house at this point, and which is historic low, and this is not very good. I would comment on it a little bit later. And also the inflation has tamed down to 3% now, but it has a little bit of sign that it will come back a little bit later on in the second half of the year, and that is why the Fed kind of hesitant to reduce the interest rate. And as a matter of fact, they are kind of thinking to increase another 25 percentage point next month for the year 2023. And if that's the case, it will really be a big problem for housing in the United States, because as it sits right now, the prime rate is 8.5%, and for commercial real estate, when you add 1 point to the prime rate, it's going to be 9.5%. Which is really historic high. That's why you don't have too much activity in commercial real estate, and it's going to be persisting for the rest of the year. And also the mortgage rate will continue to remain elevated for a longer period of time than the market previously anticipated. So that's one of the things that we have to be aware of. The housing let's look at the housing affordability. As I said, that it really dropped down to 16% as a historic low since the third quarter of 2007. Now, as it stands right now, you need to make $208,000 a year in order to qualify for average house payment of $5,200 for a medium price home, which is really scary. Not too many people routinely makes $208,000 a year, and that is the benchmark for people buying average house in California. That's why the first home buyer really have a tough time. They cannot qualify at all for the mortgage. And actually, this figure is only for a mortgage of 6.61%. But if it goes up a little bit higher, right now, last week was like 7.2%, and the picture of affordability even more grave looking. Without the interest rate going so high, the housing affordability will remain a big problem in the next year or two. So we have to watch out on that. The inflation rate, hopefully, that it went down quite a bit, and now is in the 3% range. And it was dropped down about 2.2% from from June to July. But there is a sign that it will come back a little bit a bit more as the gasoline price and all those food prices that the core inflation rate will come back a little bit more so than previously anticipated. So you know, that's why the Fed is hesitant to reduce the interest rate, because they really want to put a cap on the inflation rate. That their target goal is to reduce it to 2% by the end of 2024. And if the way that it's going, it's hard to achieve the goal. That's why they don't want to reduce the interest rate. Once they reduce the interest rate, then it'll spur you know, the inflation back up again. So that's the things that they don't want to do. So and also because of the geographic political tensions between China and US, and also the weather related factors. I know we have a lot of natural disasters, you know, earthquakes, hurricanes, and fire and all that. And so it's gonna put a lot of pressure on the food and energy, and then also will affect much on the inflation rate as well. Now the consumer, luckily the consumer sentiment was up a little bit, although it stay flat in August. And so the consumer feel a little bit more optimistic about the economy, and that's a good thing, because you know, if they have a confidence about the economy, then it will spur up the growth, and hopefully you know, we won't have a recession. And actually they're thinking that we should have a soft landing because of the optimism of the consumer, and hopefully that's the case. And you know, it would be a little bit better economically next year. The mortgage rate unfortunately will stay very high, because the Fed would not ease up on the interest rate. As a matter of fact, they are thinking of giving another 25 percentage point raise next month. So by the time they get another 25 percentage point, the prime rate will be 8.75%. And when you add another point for the commercial loans, prime plus one, it will be 9.75, which is almost 10%, which is huge. And you know, never thought of before. You know, 10% is really, compared to like 3%, 2.5% back to you know, a year and a half ago. That's really unimaginable. But that's the way it is. And you know, we historically we have high interest rate in 10%, and we survive. So it's just a matter of adaptation, and you know, we have gone through that before, and we're going to survive that this time again. So the reason why the mortgage rate is still so high is because of inflation. Is pretty stubborn, and then it's coming. The core inflation in terms of food prices and the gasoline prices will inch up, you know, in the next couple of months. So that's something that we have to watch as well. And the good thing is that the small firms, you know, the businesses improving their business outlook. You know, they think that the economy is going to turn around, and they have more optimism. They spend more money on their capital expenditures, and also they have easier time to hire help now. And so the general atmosphere in the small business is a little better than a couple of months ago. So that's a good thing, and hopefully that will wrap up the economy a little bit, and hopefully by the end of the year, we'll be coming out of the worry about recession. Hopefully it's a soft landing, and let's keep our fingers crossed. Okay, and that's what I have to share today. And if there's any questions, please ask me. Any questions? I guess it's crystal clear.
Thank you, Peter. Much appreciated.
Yeah.
Actually, Peter,
Yes.
this is Steve.
Yes, Dave.
No questions, just have a comments.
Uh-huh.
Right now, the economic situation, usually, I listen to Moody all the time. And even Moody, they have a conflicting report.
Mhm.
When they say, one day, when I check with them, they say, no more raise of overnight punch rate. June is the last one, and they predict by June next year, we are going to start to see some kind of rate decrease. They are predicting in 2026. That is the 3 years from now, the rate will down to 2 3/4, and the 2027 is going down to 2 1/4. Okay, which is 2 1/2. I'm sorry, which is good news. But the next day,
I don't think that's realistic. I don't think.
Next day, another comments come up. So we are not sure. We are not sure the rate increase is the end over here. And I can see that because the one of reason is you can see the recent spike of the energy cost. The gasoline all of a sudden going higher.
Right.
So even Moody is confused. So
oh yeah, it's a lot of confusion out there, and a lot of economic experts. They have different opinions. So come down what is what. You form your own prediction.
Yeah, you have an economic predictive weather, and then the weather. I mean, those people for economics, the result is the same.
Yeah. I know. But hopefully we have a soft landing. I hope that's what is going to happen. Hopefully, if the situation with China and U.S. will not go worse. So.
Well, economics of China is softened, and their GDP is going to go down.
Yes.
And that is what the United States is hoping for.
Yeah.
In one way.
Yeah. That's a big problem as well. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's not the question, just the comments.
Okay. Thank you, Steve. Good point. Good point. Thank you. Any more questions? Well, if not, back to you, Ruben.
All right. Thank you, Peter, for your update. And if there's no other further questions, we'll see everybody next Monday. Okay. Have a fabulous week, everybody.
Okay. Have a nice week, everybody. Bye-bye.